So now it's time for the penultimate DD2 qualifying heat of the race weekend here at Adria. First round of the 2019 Rotax Max Euro Trophy season. So on pole position, it's Nico Jörg with the guy that set exactly the same lap time as him in qualifying, Austria's Daniel Mahacek in the 4:30. That's row 1, Jakub Bezel and Piotr Wisnicki. Row 2, Vili Villainen, who looks to come back and obviously not bounce back onto the back bumper as he had the experience of in his first heat. Starts from 5th position. Ahead alongside will be Ronnie Göttler on row 3. Riccardo Alberti and David Remy round out the 4th row with Dionysius Livris and Manuel Tenschert on row number 5. Jan Slozar and Max Fleischmann will be on row 6 ahead of Markus Heimbüchner, Louis Puel, Aleix Navarro Amigo, Sebastian de Grand, Imke Arts, Antoine Gonsalves, Nico Brügger, Daniel Oberheuter, Florian Breitenbach and Peter Bezel. 22 drivers, so the lap time, the timer will be reset to 10 minutes plus an additional lap of this at this fantastic 1,302 meter circuit based in the Veneto region. So they're going to start controlling the pace are the two on the front row. So it is Jörg on pole with Mahacek alongside Bezel, Wisnicki, Villainen, Göttler, Alberti, Remy, Livris, Tenschert, Slozar, Fleischmann, Heimbüchner, Puel, Navarro Amigo, de Grand, Arts, Gonsalves, Brügger, Oberheuter, Breitenbach and Peter Bezel at the back end of the grid. Now the two leaders now trying to control the pace to get the rolling start formation underway. Could this be that we end up going around for another formation lap, or do we get going? Revs rise, do we go? So we have had a green light. Well, we've had the signal to go racing. So Jörg is leading. Behind is Jakub Bezel, it looks like. So Daniel Mahacek has already dropped down to 3rd position at the minute. Or maybe even make that 4th, because it looks like Vili Villainen. Yep, Villainen now up into 3rd position and is trying to fight his way through to the front of the field. So as someone's gone a bit wide coming out of turn number 7, heading into the left-hander at turn 8. So at the minute, it looks like Nico Jörg is leading. So the Austrian leading ahead of Jakub Bezel from the Czech Republic. Daniel Mahacek from Austria in 4th position. Behind the number 416 of Vili Villainen from Finland. Top 4 separated by just under 6/10, and it's really close between 2nd to 4th again, as well as from 5th to 7th, because in there is David Remy. And Remy started in 8th position, so the Swede already up 2 places. Behind it is Riccardo Alberti, as there's more positional changes there as well. The 416 of Villainen definitely coming under threat. Now Remy is really showing a clear, distinct will to get past people. He's now up into, that looks to be 4th, maybe even make that 5th. That looks to be 5th at the minute, because Wisnicki has been in the mix in the top 5 at the moment in this race as the leaders come across the start-finish line. So Remy up to 5th, Riccardo Alberti up into 6th ahead of Jan Slozar, Dionysius Livris up to 8th, and in the meantime Daniel Mahacek has been going backwards, probably not on his own accord. So Mahacek down into 9th position, and behind is Max Fleischmann from FM Racing, last year's vice champion in this category. As Remy goes past, I think that might have been, well, someone has dropped back a little bit, but the two leaders are definitely at it, as we have Jakub Bezel, who is now leading ahead of Nico Jörg. So great battle, really catching a light, so to speak, at the front end of the field. Meanwhile, the battle is 2 abreast between 4 different drivers going through the exit of turn 9. That's absolutely great control from the DD2 drivers, but they will have to watch if they put 2 wheels outside the tram lines of the track limits. They will get a 3-second penalty. So at the moment, top 10, it is Basil from Jorg, Vililainen, Remy. So that's Jakub Basil at the front of the field. David Remy in fourth, having got past Piotr Wisnicki in fifth. Jan Sloza, Dinisis Livris, Ricardo Alberti. We got Aleix Navarro Amigo is up into ninth place. So there has been further moves back, unwanted moves back, I might add, for Daniel Mahacek from Austria, who started on the front row. It's turning out to be a bit of a disaster for the Austrian, as there's more bumping and barging coming through turns 8 and 9. And that was around about sort of the bottom part of the field, probably around about sort of 12th to 13th position by my reckoning. Leaders come across the line. Nico Jorg is on the offensive on Jakub Basil again. So Basil in the 401, Nico Jorg in the 439. Behind them is Vililainen, who's a little bit lonely in third position. David Remy was not as quick as the Finn, and behind him is Piotr Wisnicki. So then we've also got Jan Slozar. So Slozar started in 11th position and is in 6th place. Dinisis Livris in the meantime started 9th, now 7th. And that means that Ricardo Alberti has now dropped down into 8th position. But Aleix Navarro Amigo now up into 9th. Sebastian de Grand rounds out the top 10 ahead of Max Fleischmann, Daniel Mahacek. Peter Basil has absolutely stormed through the field at the minute. So the Czech driver up from 22nd to 13th ahead of Manuel Tenschert. Heimbuchner in 15th. And Fleischmann's now dropped a place to Peter Basil on that last lap alone. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Nico Jorg is dropping back a little bit, I fear, as Vililainen. Whoa, that was a quick lap from the Finn. That was nearly 3/10. That's an absolute blinder, but Jan Slozar in 6th position has just done a 50.735, the fastest lap of this race. That is definitely a lot quicker than a lot of drivers, including several in front, and that includes Wisnicki, Remy, Basil, Jorg, and Vililainen. Vililainen is closing on 2nd position quite quickly, but this time Nico Jorg sets his best lap of the race at 50.954. Vililainen does a 50.845. Slozar was just 7/1000ths of a second off of the fastest lap, which he's already set, and that was lap number 5. We're now on to lap number 7 here at Adria. So we've gone past the half-time distance. Very clean and organised at the front, so it is still Jakub Basil leading at the moment. And in the meantime, Peter Basil has now got to exactly halfway through the field, and we've got 4 minutes and 18 plus an additional lap. Peter Basil has been on an absolute mission to get past those, having started down in 22nd. Now is past Sebastian de Grand from Dames Racing up into 11th position. So well done to the Czech driver. Let's see how many more places Peter Basil can do, because he's only, wait for it, 2/10 away from Daniel Mahacek from Austria, as Vililainen has closed up the gap on Nico Jorg. So the Finn definitely in the hunt now for 2nd place. And he's gone for it up the inside of turn 4. That was very, very clean and fair, I think, from Vililainen. So Nico Jorg gave him enough room to go up the inside. Now here comes David Remy, the Swede from Dan Holland Racing, clearly on the back bumper of the Austrian, going through into turn number 7. Now the thing is, I've noticed that Vililainen has a side pod not on the kart on the right-hand side. So whether they've had to relinquish that, I'm not sure. But as Brugger has parked it, Nico Brugger started 19th. So Vililainen is now only 7/10 away from the lead of the race. And we have 3 minutes and exactly on the clock, plus an additional lap to go. It looks like they have got a bolster in there as Nico Jorg goes up the inside of Vililainen to retake 2nd position through turn 4 there. Great job by the Austrian driver. Meanwhile, David Remy still has a ringside seat behind, though. Wisnicki, Slozar, and Dinisis Livris are battling away. This is over what is effectively 5th position. We know what happened when Dinisis Livris tries to go for it, and it nearly came a cropper last time because Vililainen was the one that was the unwelcome recipient. Oh, we have a mechanical flag. And that is for Vililainen. That is because the side pod. I thought that might be something adrift there. So Vili-Vili-Lainen is going to have to park it. So has the side pod come off? And is that off of the track? That should be off the track. So that's going to allow. So both Nico Jorg and also now David Remy has got past Vili-Lainen. So Vili-Lainen given the mechanical black flag, or the meatball flag, as it's more commonly known in UK circles. So he is going to have to pull it into the pits, and that will put him out of the race. It's a real shame for the Finn, because he was on course to have a really good result in Heat 1. Now Heat 2's become a bit of a disaster with that right side pod missing. So there's absolutely nothing between the right-hand side. That is a bit of a danger for the driver as well from a safety perspective, and he has pulled it in. That's a real shame, but we know what he can do when he's on form, and hopefully everything will be back on song for the 2 finals tomorrow. Now, obviously, this will depend on which group he was in, and he was in Group B, so that's his last qualifying heat chance. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, so Jakob Bezel leads, Nico Jorg in second position, David Remy from Sweden in third. In fourth, it's Jan Slozar, who started in 11th place. Piotr Wisnicki, Dionysis Livris, Riccardo Alberti, Daniel Mahacek, Peter Bezel up into now 9th place ahead of Aleix Navarro Amigo, who has also made headway, started 15th, now in 10th position. Sebastian de Grand, Manuel Tenschert, Max Fleischmann. We also have Florian Breitenbach, who has also been making some good work through the field up into 14th. Louis Puel from France in 15th, Imke Arts in 16th, Ronny Göttler now in 17th, Markus Heimbüchner started in 13th, now running in 18th ahead of Daniel Oberreuter, Antoine Gonçalves, and now we will have both Vili-Vili-Lainen and Nico Brügger, the only 2 retirees in this race. That's a real shame for the Finn. That's 2 qualifying heats that haven't really gone his way. So the time is fast approaching its conclusion here in this second of 3 DD2 qualifying heats. So groups B and C. So Group B will have completed their 2 heats here at Adria. So final lap board is being shown to Jakob Bezel, who started in 3rd position ahead of Nico Jorg. David Remy, who started down in 8th position, now 3rd. Jan Slozar, also making some good moves up the order, up into 4th from 11th. Piotr Wisnicki, another Polish driver who is definitely one to keep an eye on this season. Wisnicki is in 5th, ahead of Riccardo Alberti from Italy in the treble 4. Currently running in 6th. Daniel Mahacek is ahead of Dionysis Livris. The pair are respectively placed 7th and 8th. But it's now through into the left-hander, the final time at turn 8. Now into the 180-degree hairpin at turn 9 before the blast up the somewhat straightish bit towards the final corner, turn 10. But the checkered flag waves for Jakob Bezel from the Czech Republic in the 401. Nico Jorg finishes in 2nd position. David Remy in 3rd. Jan Slozar in 4th. Piotr Wisnicki in 5th place. So unfortunately, Vili-Vili-Lainen and Nico Brügger, 2 retirements. Also, you can add to that list Ronny Göttler from Mach 1, who with a couple of laps to go had to park it. But Jakob Bezel and Nico Jorg make it a KSCA Saudi Austria team 1-2 ahead of Dan Holland Racing's David Remy. AK Lamco's Jan Slozar takes 4th ahead of Piotr Wisnicki, Riccardo Alberti from Italy, Daniel Mahacek from Austria, Dionysis Livris, Peter Bezel and Aleix Navarro Amigo. Manuel Tenschert in 11th, Sebastian de Grand in 12th place ahead of Florian Breitenbach, Max Fleischmann from Germany, Louis Puel from France, Imke Hartz from the Netherlands, Markus Heimbüchner, Antoine Gonçalves and Daniel Oberreuter. So the last qualifying heat for DD2 will be our last race of the afternoon, which takes place at 17:45 this afternoon. So there we go.